Welcome everyone to What the Force, and welcome to our, I guess now annual, second annual HEADCANON episode. Extravaganza even.
Is it an extravaganza?
I don't know.
I haven't seen the theories yet, so you're the authority here.
I have a spreadsheet.
Ooh. If there's a spreadsheet, it's an extravaganza.
Yeah, we received I only opened it up for like a few days, like 3 days, and we received over 30 headcanons.
That's respectable.
So I'm going to have to be a little picky and choosy, maybe a little random, and then we'll discuss them. And so the format of this show is Liam, who is...
Hello.
Hi, Liam. Joining me, Marie Claire, to talk about headcanon. And although Liam reads the comics and catches up with the movies and the TV shows and things like that, he doesn't like try to learn all of the minutia out there. He calls himself a casual fan. That is not true. No, it's not, because CNN had this article that came out where they were like, the most popular characters you know nothing about, and the top was Ahsoka.
Oh.
Right, because
she's the best character.
Yeah, but casual fans, like truly casual fans that just don't even pay attention, won't know who she is.
They should.
I mean, fair, right?
Well, I'm calling on Rosario Dawson to keep up her campaign to change that.
Like some sort of live screen version of it. I don't know if it's gonna happen unless they make her really old and she's still around in like the sequel era. Yeah.
I don't know how her species ages, so
I know nothing.
I mean, maybe she's like a Wookiee. Maybe she's like 400 years old.
Okay, we're gonna start this out. I mean, yes, we have like Maz's race that lives for thousands of years. We have Yoda, who's 900 years old, young, and then dies. And then
he was kidding. He's 35. He just worked customer service. We should probably introduce the whole headcanon concept. Anyone who didn't listen to our episode 1 of headcanon,
which was like a year ago,
doesn't want to go back a year to listen to that.
Okay, sorry. Headcanon is like theories that fans either make up or suppose that fills in the spaces between actual canon. So either to explain things or ideas. It's almost like speculation that has yet to be proven or disproven. Headcanon isn't really forward-facing as much. Right? It's more existing materials that fills in the gaps. Mm-hmm. That's what we're using it for. But there's a lot of gaps to fill in Star Wars. So yeah, there's going to be a lot.
It's a big universe.
Just to start us out, what is your favorite headcanon?
Oh, God. I heard one recently that it actually doesn't have anything to do with movies. It's actually a headcanon for a song.
Okay.
That the song Africa by Toto is actually about a werewolf. And the justifications on that was he's blessing the rains down in Africa because the clouds from the rain cover the moon. He's searching for a cure because he's afraid of the thing that he's become. Like there's a lot of little subtle clues that he's somehow become a monster and is trying to get rid of the monster so that he can go back to the woman that he loves.
That or an STD.
That too. There's a weaker headcanon that it's actually a Christmas song too, because in Africa, the rainy season is December.
Oh.
So it happens at Christmas. If Die Hard can be a Christmas movie because it happened at Christmas, which it is, then Africa can be a Christmas carol.
That is the most bizarre headcanon
It
I've
really
ever heard.
is. And I love that sort of thing. And while I don't try to educate myself, I don't know the serial number of every ship that's ever appeared on screen like some hosts of this show, James, then I really do like the headcanon. I love chasing red herrings like that. So it has taken so much effort to not read any Star Wars headcanon because of this.
Since I asked the question out there on Twitter to fill in our Google spreadsheet basically in form, which was back in January. So I'm sorry that it took so long to actually get this around, but I had a lot of backlog to get through.
You had a lot of awesome episodes to do.
Oh yeah. We've done some cool stuff on the show so far. I'm pretty proud of it.
But anyway, the format that we had last time.
Yes.
And I'm assuming we're going to do the same thing this time.
I totally forgot what we were doing. So yes. Okay, we will do the same thing.
Was that I come in completely unprepared by purpose. You give me and the audience several examples of headcanon. In this case, provided by our listeners. Hi, listeners. Thank you for the headcanons.
We will be calling those people out. Yes.
We discuss
yes
the veracity of it, and in the last episode, well, I guess the headcanon episode 1, one of them was confirmed. And I did not manage to guess which one was the real one last time.
Yes. Ooh, I got a good one because I doubt you know this one. So I'm gonna put it down so I know. Yeah, that was a weird one. The one that got you, which was they're actually navigators, the purple dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought the one that was true was that there was large creatures on Endor. I think was the one that I believed was true.
Became true.
Yeah, after the fact. So
yeah,
I was wrong at the time.
Yes, you were wrong at the time.
I'm pretty sure that's the one that I thought was true.
How good can I lie to people on the podcast?
Make it the name of an obscure character so you can get 2 laughs at me for not picking up on it. If it's Ahsoka, I'll get it because she's not obscure.
Because she's not obscure. All right. The first one is from Matt's Nerd Corner, which you may know or not. We'll see.
Very mysterious.
Yes. Zeb and Callus are actually a couple.
Now, their relationship for the first part of the series really reminds me of the last relationship that I was in, so I could see it as being somewhat plausible from that.
He rides on his shoulders.
So there's nothing wrong with that. It was the most convenient solution at the time. Zeb and Callus are a couple.
He takes him home to his family.
I don't see there being any romance or any ship there. I think that it's just that Callus wanted to atone. He made amends however he could, and Zeb was showing him forgiveness.
You haven't read all the books.
I haven't read all the books.
There's gay characters in the books.
So? I'm not entirely sure that Zeb is male. I don't know that species' gender dimorphism.
Fair. Okay, so plausible, not plausible.
I don't want to say not plausible, but I want to say that I don't think it's true. So I think that would have to go down as a not plausible, but it's a sliding scale.
Okay, not plausible. All right. There is a warning message in the book Bloodline to Leia.
I'm glad there's more to it than that.
Yes, just before her breakfast meeting, her brunchin at the Senate gets destroyed by a bomb, and the warning message is run, and it's specifically written in calligraphy or writing, which is not a thing that really exists. And the idea is that Ben Solo wrote it because he is known to have a calligraphy set. Also, Rian Johnson specifically asked Claudia Gray to put that into her book.
Yeah, that one seems to fit. And there's a pile of supporting evidence on that, so I could see that one being very plausible, but I haven't read the book.
Yes. So you think it's plausible, but there's not enough evidence to disprove it or prove it yet.
I would definitely put it under plausible.
So, the book takes 5 years. It happens 5 years before The Force Awakens. Okay. Luke Skywalker is actually illiterate. This is from Juliet Jane.
Luke Skywalker is actually illiterate. I would say not plausible because he was performing a lot of repairs and things like that. I think he would have to have at least a base knowledge of languages for the stuff that he did back at the Moisture Farm.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of any time that I actually saw him reading anything in the movies.
I actually know of a time.
Well, then it's implausible. I don't think that he read the sacred texts.
No. Well, he's functionally illiterate, maybe.
Oh, if you're going that route. I don't think he's functionally illiterate. I just think he's disinclined to read.
He has a learning disability. We really shouldn't mock that.
He's a Jedi. Try, fail, go and hide on a planet. It's the holy trinity of Jedi-ness. So I'm going to say no. I think he's literate.
All right. Our next one is from JD, and it's regarding Kylo Ren's lightsaber.
Okay.
Yep. We'll just talk about Kylo Ren's lightsaber because of how wide Adam Driver is. Did you watch the 9 panel?
No.
No, Stephen Colbert was teasing Daisy Ridley and saying, like, you know, he's really big. He's a really big guy. And she's like, yeah, he's really big. And then Stephen Colbert changes the topic and goes, so let's talk about Kylo Ren's lightsaber. You got to watch it.
Okay, then.
Yes.
He is a very broad chap.
He is a broad chap.
Daisy could stay in shape by running laps around him.
I mean, he's swole, right?
Well, he's a Marine. He's got a functional combat body.
Yes. I don't know if you know this, but when a Sith bleeds their lightsaber, they turn red. So after Ben turned to the dark side, he was forced to, bleed his lightsaber to continue to use it and still have a connection to it or whatever as a Sith. We've seen it in the comics and in Ahsoka and stuff like that. And as the crystal responded to Ben's lightsaber actions, it caused the crystal to crack and become unstable, and that's why he had to put in like the vents on each side. He basically screwed it up.
I've actually heard things along that line before.
Yeah.
That the crystal was so imperfect that that's why it had the cross guards. That it was spewing off too much energy, and they needed to find a way to vent it. My understanding of why the Sith lightsabers were all red is different than that, though.
Yeah.
So I heard, but I don't know where I heard or read or what have you, that the Sith lightsabers were all red because they used synthetic kyber crystals, and red was just the ones that they made.
No, that's Legends now.
Okay.
Yeah. So now it's like a spiritual thing where you basically, because kyber is like a living crystal, you force the kyber to bleed in a very dope and evil way. Basically, you force it to have like tons of pain. And Kylo Ren's lightsaber is yellow red. It specifically says this in the lightsaber book.
Yeah, I'd say totally plausible on that one. That sounds right along lines with canon.
Yeah.
But I also remember the first time the Force Awakens trailer came out, and you just see that close up from behind where he first fires it up, and then the cross guards fire up, and then everyone in the theater pees a little.
Yes.
So that's where the yellow part comes from, I assume.
That was his stomp one, right? Like where he stomps in the woods.
Yeah, and then fires the arm out, and I think it's Finn in the background.
Lights up his lightsaber, like the Skywalker lightsaber, right?
No, I think he's sort of crouching in the snow, and he just fires it down, main blades, side blades.
Oh, yeah. So that one was from JD. There was nothing else in that.
Good work, JD.
Yeah, it was good.
I think that one's true, though. What was the one from the Ocean Moons of Yoda?
Oh, there it is.
The politically correct version of the name that we received.
Oh, yeah, no. So Yoda's unfortunate testicle situation. This is the name that I received. So this one is that when the Mortis trio dies in the Clone Wars, they each manifest themselves into familiars. The daughter following Ahsoka around in the form of a conver, the Morai, and that the father becomes the Bendu, and then the one with the Force when Thrawn tried to kill him. It became one with the Force when Thrawn tried to kill him, and that the son somehow manifested elsewhere that we have yet to see.
Conver was the little owl that followed her around, right?
Yeah, I've got one upstairs.
That's a budgie.
No, I'll show you after. It's they sold them at Celebration.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I like it. I like where it's going, but I don't buy it.
Okay.
I don't think that they would. With that series, with the exception of a specific and intentional cliffhanger at the end, they did a very good job of wrapping things up. So I don't think that they would have left the third for some other series or some other place. So while I like the theory and I think it would be awesome if it was true, I'm going to say implausible for that.
Okay.
And it makes me sad. Sad as Yoda's unfortunate situation.
All right.
Plus, I think Bendu said that he was like ancient, thousands of years old.
I'm the one in the middle. Oh, you're gonna like this one from our friend Alex. So you're gonna know this one is something.
Just because it's from Alex doesn't mean it's not true.
That's true. Tam and Hype Phazon used to date. You've seen all of Resistance?
Yeah.
Alex Leonis, everyone. Who does the best art, and everyone should listen to hers and our good friend Shannon McCarter's podcast, Lipstick and Lightsabers.
Her nebula was awesome.
Oh my goodness. Did you? Oh.
That was so good. It's a small platform.
Okay.
There's not necessarily a whole lot of options, so I could see they've both been there for a while. People pair off, people split up. But over the course of the series, I don't recall seeing any sort of interaction between the two of them that would hint that there was any pre-existing relationship.
Well, she got mad at him because of something in the past when they used to be friends. Do you not remember that episode?
I don't recall that.
Oh, yeah, no, she has something against him. She can't trust him.
Like I said, small platform. There's a distinct possibility that they were a couple before, but I don't recall seeing any evidence to it. So I will say plausible.
Okay, so this one is.
Didn't she race for a time in the Fireball, or was she just?
No, she was just really good friends with him previously, and then stuff changed, and she's got like super abandonment issues, and that's why when people lied to her in the end, it made it even sadder.
Yeah, her story arc's going to be amazing in the next season.
I know. Oh, I've got an Ahsoka poster for you.
Ooh.
From the Clone Wars panel.
Awesome.
Yeah. So after this, I'll give it to you. We're recording in person. This never happens. All right. So from the new Master and Apprentice novel, Pax Manifer was raised by protocol droids, and that's why he sounds like Sherlock Holmes all the time. And this is from Paxera for Life.
I don't know who Pax Manifer is.
I know.
But they seem to use droids for a lot, and I'm sure Pax, he or she, wouldn't... I don't know the character.
Oh, he's a guy.
He's a guy?
Yeah.
I'm sure Pax wouldn't be the only one that had been raised by droids if he had been.
Yeah, fair.
So, super plausible.
Yeah.
Maybe one of those paddle-handed ooba droid.
Ooba. Exactly.
That's what I'm going to say anytime I need to comfort anybody. If I get to the scene of a car accident, I'll just make little paddle heads and be like, ooba. I'm hurt and confused.
You've seen the end of Rebels, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Jason Sandula, who is Hera's and Kanan's blue-orange child.
Yeah.
Green-orange child? Blue-orange?
Like the dress. Who knows?
Became one of Luke's students.
Ooh.
And followed Ben in the destruction of the temple, becoming a Knight of Ren.
Ooh.
Dicilium. This is from Dicilium.
Dicilium, I like the way you think. That's good, because if they ever decide to actually use the Knights of Ren instead of just talking about them.
Yeah, we haven't even seen them in the trailer. It's like, where did they go? I mean, to be fair, Ryan just did not want to kill them. So that's why they weren't in TLJ.
I could see that being plausible for a couple of reasons. I think the timelines could line up in order for that to work.
He'd be like 35-ish.
Yeah, he'd be a little bit old to take the trials, but I don't think Luke would care about that.
I mean, originally the Knights of Ren are like artifact hunters.
I think from a storyline perspective, like a future storyline perspective, it could be very interesting, because having somebody that's the child of two heroes that has that sort of that heroic bent that hopefully gets passed from generation to generation could make for a very interesting storyline for one of the Knights of Ren to redeem basically from within and possibly be that thing that let's say solves the situation.
Yeah, like helps out. Are you
helps
talking?
Out, maybe brings the other knights over to the side of light. Maybe if they need to be destroyed, maybe he's the one to destroy them.
Yeah.
I think if they gave, if this turned out to be true and they gave Jason a redemption arc from within the Knights of Ren, it could be a really good story.
Yeah, and it's not like they haven't pulled characters from animation. They've now gone reverse. They've done the reverse animation thing.
Yeah.
Right before, where they've been like, hey, actually this character exists or whatever. I would feel very bad for Hera.
Depends how the story ends.
Yeah, no, fair. I think part of Star Wars storytelling is that sometimes you have to tell the same story multiple times. So having Ben Solo and this other character have very similar, like, we used to be heroes, or we're this generation of kids that can't live up to our heroic parents. Like, that's kind of an interesting story.
It would give them enough common ground in the backstory to be very close. So when Kylo fell, it would make sense that his best friend or his closest confidant or whatever
Yeah.
Jason turned out to be would fall alongside.
I mean, Ben Solo seems very lonely and isolated anyways, and this character potentially would be older than him, and I always got the impression that he was maybe one of the oldest at the temple, but we don't really know.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I like that. I could see that being plausible, mostly because I hope it is.
I mean, it'd be dope.
Yeah.
It'd be really cool.
Well, we know that everyone down at Lucasfilm is listening to this podcast specifically for the headcanon to come up with ideas. So
I mean, hello, Star Wars people or Lucasfilm. I can't believe I just said that out loud. No, we do know that they listen occasionally when there's something interesting going on. Probably not this episode.
Ow.
I mean, it's me, not you.
Not this one. One of the good episodes.
I mean, things like that. Yeah.
But yeah, I would like to see that storyline.
I mean, yeah.
And they've got so many different avenues that they're putting things out. They've got the movies, they've got various shows and other shows in the work. They've got the new network launching that's going to need some content. They've got the books, they've got the comics. They could do it as a radio drama.
They could. I mean, we've got the audio drama Jedi Lost now. Mm-hmm. It's so good. I feel like having the temple times would be a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. All right, here's one. In effect, L337 is transgendered. She was originally programmed a male astromech, and as she transformed her body, she changed her gender along with her programming. This is from L3 Fangirl.
I like that one too. Because if you think about L3's movement, she was very stompy.
Yeah,
like had a very masculine physicality to her.
But she does have the hip moves too.
Well, yeah, but
and she does have the body of an astromech. Mm-hmm.
But the hips were obviously not original parts.
Yeah.
So I mean, if I was going that way and I could install some sassier hips, I think I would. I'm not sure that's a sentence that's ever been spoken out loud before.
By you?
By anyone. So while I don't think it's canon, I think it's plausible and I would like it to be true.
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah, I like it too. It's good.
Even if droids are inherently genderless.
They're not. They have programmed genders. All right. This one is from Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Rey is responsible for the death of her parents. Some of the theories are that when she saw the ship, she pulled the ship out of the sky with the Force from her vision. What do you think of that? I
think if her parents were dead, they would have made it more obvious, unless I missed something about her parents being dead at that moment and not just left and then died years later.
They're dead on a pauper's grave in Jakku. Yeah. That's what Kylo says.
But
if we can believe him.
I think they're dead. Mm-hmm. But the implication wasn't that as they were leaving, they died. It was that they left and then didn't care enough to come back to her and then died eventually. At least that's what I read out of it. But that said, I'm still of the theory that Rey is actually a Palpatine, so she would be strong with the Force and have some issues. What?
I mean, I just want her to be nobody. I feel like it's just a more powerful story if she doesn't come from anywhere. I understand the need to connect her. It just
unfortunately the way that Star Wars has been, and as much as I love what they're doing with it, they have a real
love for legacies.
They've got to tie everything together. They've got to have little tie-ins and little pop-ups and things like that to make it all.
She's a child of the Force, Liam.
She's a child of a clone of Palpatine.
Maybe. So granddaughter of Palpatine.
Yeah. But that theory, which is not entirely mine, I just adopted it. I was born.
You're inserting your own headcanon.
I'm inserting my own headcanon into the headcanon episode. Time and place. Her father was a clone of Palpatine that was never put into service when Palpatine died.
Yeah.
Got dumped on Jakku. He had no idea of his lineage. He was nobody despite being somebody.
Okay.
And she is therefore the daughter of nobody and his wife nobody, who, if you go back enough generations, I'm a descendant of Buffalo Bill. It doesn't make me somebody.
There is that connection there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So while I can see it, I think if she had pulled the ship out of the sky when they showed the scene of her watching her parents leave, they would have used that. They would have shown the parents dying.
I don't know. That's the big like thematic idea that even Rey has a dark side, right? Even in her past, she committed a crime. She killed her parents, in some ways.
I'm not sure that would really qualify as darkness because she was so young, and it would have just been an overwhelming of emotion. It wouldn't be, I'm going to kill them now. It would have been reaching for her parents, trying to bring them back, and accidentally causing that to happen.
I mean, fair.
But again, I think they would have showed it.
I don't know that it would have made us more sympathetic to Rey in TFA, though.
No, that's why I would have to put this as implausible, because I think it's more powerful for her story for her parents to have just left and not cared enough to come back.
Okay. And that they're nobody.
As far as anybody knows, they're nobody.
Nobody. Ugh. Man, if Palpatine turns out to be like some sort of ancestor or father of hers, I'm going to be like, blah. I'll make those noises. You'll come to the theater with me and I'll make those noises. I'll be like, in the theater.
And I'll just point at you.
I know. You're going to be like, see? Ah! And the theater near our place got the cool like reclining seats.
So much better. I only discovered those like Hellboy ago. So now I've only seen 3 movies in the comfy seats so far. I don't know why nobody told me about them.
Well, like we went to a theater up north and we're like, do we drive up north from now on? How could we go back?
I went to Sunridge for the first one.
Yeah.
For Hellboy. And why am I going to Chinook? Yeah, it's convenient, but I'm just glad that I discovered those seats before Endgame. Before
Endgame, yeah. I mean, sitting in a reclining seat for 3 hours is kind of nice. Yeah. And I got Far From Home Spider-Man Far From Home tickets for that one too. So I'm like, yay. I mean, I just can't go back. Like, why would you sit in a normal seat now?
A peasant theater.
I know, and they don't cost anymore yet. So yeah. And Far From Home.
I think there's only one far in the title. I think you're Star Warsing it.
I don't.
Not that you rub a little bit of Star Wars on things, but I think it's just.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure it's just Far From Home.
Spider-Man Far. Disappointment is my name.
I'm not a casual Marvel fan.
Fair.
I won HQ on the Marvel night.
I'm very impressed.
Of course, I also double won HQ on the Star Wars night.
This is a little roundabout. I always lose on Star Wars HQ. I get out like 3 questions from the end. It's something like super inane that my brain just doesn't process.
When I won the HQ trivia on Star Wars night, I think levels were already a thing, and I got saved by levels fairly early on.
Oh.
And then I had to use an extra life at like 8 and then just guessed the last ones.
Now that I've sufficiently distracted you, all right, which one of these was real? And then we can discuss things in general.
Give me the crib notes.
I don't remember which ones I did. All right, let me see if I can remember.
Because there was one that I was absolutely sure about, but then I swam once around the tank and now I can't remember.
There was Zeb and Callus.
No.
There was the thing about the warning message in Bloodline.
That's a strong possibility. There was the Kyber crystal in Kylo's
lightsaber. There was the Pax was raised by protocol droids. There was where's Yoda's unfortunate situation? The Mortis gods are actually avatars, or they've turned into basically familiars. Rey killed her parents. Tam and Hyper actually used to date.
Is that all?
There might have been 1 or 2 more, but Luke Skywalker is illiterate.
Right. Right. I skimmed them.
Yeah, that's pretty much all of them.
So I am torn between Kylo's Kyber.
Yeah.
And the warning in Bloodlines.
All right.
Now the Kylo's Kyber crystal one, which is a bit of a alliterative tongue twister. It had a lot of backing on it, and it's something similar to what I've heard before.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm going to go with the warning in Bloodline.
So although the warning in Bloodline happened, we don't know it was actually Ben yet.
Okay.
But we suspect it is.
Suspect it is.
Yes. That is the most popular headcanon about that book and about Ben Solo and the idea that he saved his mom more than once. Not only in TLJ, but in before.
So that one is not true yet.
Not true yet.
Like
but highly plausible.
Like the Endor giants.
Yes. So, I mean, could be proven right in 9 or auxiliary canon.
Which would it would keep a theme going to my guesses on these.
Yes, exactly.
So maybe I am using the force that I possess to make that one eventually true.
I mean, maybe. That would be cool. That would be a cool Bendemption
Yeah, so if that one
thing.
If that one turns out to be true, hey, Ben, you're welcome.
Congratulations on your new redeemed life.
Yes.
It all came because of Liam.
Yes. Now go back and work on the butterfly at the gym for your enormous chest.
I mean, he must eat like at least a dozen eggs in the morning, you know, like
and skateboards whole, just think.
Yeah, exactly. Well, like I like how they describe meals on first order ships does not sound like he gets enough protein to become that swole.
No, he's using the force to become more swole, and I know exactly how he's doing it too. He's using it to flick other people away from their meals and then eating theirs.
So, do you want to know which one was?
I do.
Actually true. All right. So I apologize. I kind of tricked you because it's the Master and Apprentice Pax one. Because he is actually raised by protocol droids. It's mentioned. We get a flashback to his childhood where he's like raised by protocol droids because all of the other adults and humans on a ship were killed, and he was basically abandoned on a ship for like 5 years and raised, or maybe longer, and raised by protocol droids on a floating ship. Is really cool.
Okay. Now, while I did say I thought it was completely plausible that he was raised by protocol droids, if you had given me that entire story, I would have probably thought that no, they wouldn't do that.
Yeah, no, it was dark, and the queen, Claudia Gray, came up with it.
Nice.
Yeah, and he kind of talks like C-3PO in some ways because, well, no, like a Sherlockian C-3PO, and doesn't really understand humans very well. It's really brilliantly done. So I highly recommend Master and Apprentice if you haven't read it. But yeah, Pax is a really interesting character.
Sounds like.
Yeah. Which one of these did you like the most?
Which one did I like the most?
Yeah.
Just picturing Luke stumbling through all of those adventures without being able to read anything. I explained why he was such a terrible shot at first when he was on the Falcon. And, I got one! It answers a couple of questions and is going to make the next rewatch, because let's face it, we're all going to watch all of the movies again sometime.
Yeah, I mean, before 9, yeah.
Makes them all funnier.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I do actually know a time which he has read.
Was he reading, or was he just sort of skimming?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, is he Donald Trump level illiterate, or I don't know. So he's having a straight up conversation with R2-D2 on his screen in his X-Wing before heading to Dagobah.
Right, and because it pops up.
Because he can't actually speak to R2 until later on when he understands binary.
You are correct.
I am correct. I am the queen of some knowledge.
I never would have guessed that you would know more tiny obscure scenes from Star Wars than I would.
You're making a face. It's not funny.
It's a little funny.
It's a little funny. A lot of these I really love because they feel like they flesh out the characters a lot more and could be things that people explore in, auxiliary material.
Well, that's the joy of headcanon, is quite often it fills in gaps, and a lot of the time it makes the story better.
Yeah.
Like the one, I believe the example we gave for the first time we did this was the movie The Rock with Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage. And the fan theory is that Sean Connery's character is actually James Bond, who just got captured and went back to his actual name. And if you rewatch that movie thinking that this guy is James Bond,
it's actually really cool.
The Rock was a decent film to begin with, but it's so much better as a James Bond movie.
It is so much better as a James Bond movie.
And Nicolas Cage was a perfectly passable Bond girl.
So I have a side headcanon update, and it's related to Millicent, our favorite
Our favorite Force kitty.
Our favorite kitty. There is a prevailing conversation that Dahlia Dawson, who wrote the Phasma novel, and Hux has some delicious scenes in it. She has mentioned that if she ever gets to write Hux again, she will put Millicent in the book.
I wouldn't.
I mean,
I wouldn't put Millicent blatantly in the book. What I would put would be Hux being annoyed with random hairs always turning up on his uniform.
Just like a subtle thing.
Just some hints. It's kind of like when we were talking about it before.
You just want him like off scene. We might get him. He was in Resistance.
Yeah, like one frame in the background of a shot,
like a tail.
Yeah, just something that the ultra super fans who pause things and go frame by frame to find all the secrets in it, that's the person that's going to first find Millicent somewhere in the Star Wars universe. I want it to be so easily missed that it goes possibly years after Millicent finally shows up for it to be found.
Just something like, no, fans are all over stuff. They find stuff like within months, sometimes not right away, but sometimes like within months when they can like actually like frame by frame and see stuff, you know. I do have a semi kitty related update, which is the cat that is in Kylo Ren's voice modulator to make him sound more
Darthy,
vocally I don't know, different, right? So there's a cat brought into his voice modulator when he's wearing his mask. The cat's name is Pork Chop. The cat is also used for the Loth cats in Star Wars Rebels because he is a cat owned by one of the audio designers at Lucasfilm.
I thought we were still talking in universe.
Skywalker sound.
You're saying that there's an actual cat that they used to overlay onto Adam Driver's vocals for his Kylo Ren voice. That's awesome.
I know. And like Adam Driver has a bar that he needs to hang on to when he does his ADR and all of his voiceover work, because he's so intense that he actually ripped something once or like broke something, so that he's got like a sturdy like bar to hang on to.
Yeah, that makes sense. He's a passionate actor. I mean, you don't act out force tantrums like Kylo has unless you've got some fire in you.
Yeah, exactly. But now think of Adam Driver's voice when he's in the mask as Pork Chop. Is
Pork Chop the cat?
Yes. So the theory is like, and also there's a little bit in his like force like signature too. Like so when he's like using the force and you hear that rumble, that's Pork Chop's purr. So there's also like the conversation like maybe Pork Chop's like a force cat.
So headcanon 3, Pork Chop and Millicent.
Yeah, and like
are they an item?
Pork Chop just like ghosts Millicent all the time and bugs Millicent.
Or maybe in episode 9, Kylo will just be chilling in his crib and they'll just let Pork Chop run through in the background.
That would be amazing.
And everyone would be like, "That's Millicent," and everyone would be able to say, "No, that was not Millicent.
Yeah, that's not Millicent.
That's Pork Chop."
I have to say, one of the weirdest actual facts is that, you know, that one character in Resistance, Flix or Orca.
Was it Flix or Orca?
Orca? Yeah, Flix is the bird, right?
I think so.
He's eating bacon?
Yes.
Puffer pig bacon. So different species entirely, of course.
Still.
Yeah.
That's pretty close. People eat monkey brains, so.
I suppose, yes. I mean, different species, different planets, all that sort of stuff,
Still
right?
Pretty pigly.
Yeah.
They should really have Orca eating some eggs next time.
I mean, pigs will eat pigs.
That's true. But birds generally don't.
No.
Large birds, maybe.
Yeah.
This is a weird tangent.
Yes. I don't know why I brought this up.
Because Flix and Orca were wonderful characters.
Flix and Orca are a couple. I think that's just canon now.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to visit my mother. I mean, that's canon.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah. So what is a personal headcanon of Star Wars that you have right now based on all the new stuff?
Well, it's the Rey Palpatine tie-in. I think is the strongest one.
Oh, I'm disappointed.
Look at her fighting style. Listen to her music. I mean,
it's not. Yeah, no, I've explored the Palpatine connection with her music. It's not super strong. It's there. There's a bit.
Neither is my knowledge of Star Wars, so it's perfect.
Oh my God. Let me think what my favorite headcanon right now is.
There's a little comic that I think Geeks Are Sexy posted it recently. That's the Rancor and his trainer from Jedi.
Return of the Jedi,
Yeah. That it shows the trainer getting the Rancor as a pup and then raising it up and training it and then like interviewing at Jabba's palace.
Yeah.
And then the doors have come down, but then there's the trainer like nursing the Rancor back to health in a little bed with like a giant ice pack on its head, and then they're like running through a field at the end of it. So there, let's go with that one, that the Rancor survived and the trainer who was crying there nursed the Rancor back to health, and they lived happily ever after.
Aw, I like that one.
There you go.
That made me go, aw. No, let me think what mine is right now. What is my favorite headcanon right now?
Hondo's basement.
Well, it's not my personal favorite, but it is up there. It's in my top 5. That Hondo's basement is actually a place, that Hondo has a basement, that Ezra, a space whale, and Thrawn are hanging out there, and Canudi, who is one of the younglings.
Mm-hmm.
That was Leland. She added that to my tweet thread.
That makes it canon, I believe.
I
believe
mean, no, his
tweets
are not canon, but I mean, certainly he's thought about it.
I don't know about Thrawn and the space whale, but I strongly believe that when they extend that storyline, that at some point Hondo will have sheltered Ezra. Yeah,
I feel like that's just because we know Galaxy's Edge. We know Bantu is on the edge of everything. Mm-hmm. It is literally Galaxy's Edge. And we know that that's going to be the theme park. We know that Hondo lives there. He's got an animatronic that is actually voiced by Jim Cummings. I
was actually at a podcast recording with Jim Cummings 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
He was recording an episode of Let's Get Spooky with Leanna Vamp, and they were talking about their first supernatural experiences. So if you want to hear a doozy from Jim Cummings, go listen to episode 8 of Let's Get Spooky.
You know who also has a ton of creepy stories? Vanessa Marshall. She lived in a ton of spooky houses. She does not like talking about ghosts. But yeah, she's got a ton of those. No, yeah, Hondo's basement is totally a thing. Him and Maz hooked up.
Hondo and Maz?
I think so.
Chewie's going to be jealous.
I don't know about that. He's got a family.
That's true.
Does he have a family?
How monogamous are Wookiees?
I don't know. Probably pretty monogamous.
They seem like a pretty monogamous species.
They seem super monogamous.
I mean, nobody is ever going to say that Chewbacca did not understand loyalty.
Yeah. It's
but
true.
I just think that I like the idea of that story because Ezra was there for Hondo so many times, and Hondo always screwed him over, that I think at some point, when Ezra is basically just on the verge of everything going bad, Hondo's going to swoop in and finally be the proper backup for him and give him a place to recover.
Yeah, because he probably is not doing so well. I really want that story to continue. It's like, I care more about that story than I do about finishing Clone Wars, frankly. Like, I love the Clone Wars. I'm happy we're getting more episodes, but to me, that's like new, and it's like in that 30-year gap, and we don't know what's happening, and it's in the cool new area, and it'll have Ahsoka, older, cool,
white
Ahsoka the white, Ahsoka, and it'll have Sabine, obviously, right? So
yeah, that's it. I mean, they are such strong characters that even if the Hondo and Ezra thing is just a side tangent or a quick little thing, because focusing on Sabine and Ahsoka is going to make that such a strong series, despite what the toxic people on the internet will say, because another series that's all female led. Who cares? They're the best characters that they had.
They have all the other series that are not, though.
And not just all the Star Wars series. Pretty much all the series, so get over it, guys.
Yeah, I mean, at one point, all of the women were dead in Avengers Endgame. So
yeah, from the same damn cliff.
Yeah, like all of them died. So
spoiler.
Yeah. Oops.
The Russos lifted the spoiler ban 3 days ago. We're good.
This will come out in a couple of weeks. So I don't think any of these are going to be disproven. I was very selective in my choices. Although, how did I know that Forces of Destiny episode would come out before I brought it out? I didn't know.
But anyway, when I snapped and remembered Hondo's basement, you were going to say your favorite headcanon.
Oh, yeah. My favorite current headcanon is a little Raylo, so sorry about this if you're not. But that Ben and Ray have been having visions of each other their whole lives. And that's why we get the recognition of Kylo when they meet each other. And they're actually in the interrogation room. He's like, don't worry, I feel it too. And we keep on getting asked, like, what girl?
But Snoke was pretty adamant that he was the one that was causing the connection and the force timing and that.
They were totally connected in the interrogation room. That's been confirmed.
That's force recognizes force, yo.
She totally took stuff from his brain. He took stuff from her brain. She took stuff from his brain. Mm-hmm. They were interconnected. And there's some really interesting stuff that has happened when they have a powerful force experience. One of them is left scarred. He gets his face scar, and she gets this cool scar on her shoulder or her upper arm that looks like two hands touching. And he's scarred, and it's exactly where Han touched his face.
Oh yeah. There's
some weird force stuff happening with the two of them.
I don't see the long time. I think it was more that it's like two Highlanders feel the quickening when they're in the same room. I think he came in, he recognized.
It's like, wait a second.
there's some force going on here.
Let's just like take a look under the whoa.
And I think when he said I feel it too, it was a very awkward attempt to be comforting, to allow her to relax, for the purpose of him being able to break into her brain. Like, not comforting her because he's such a nice guy.
Oh no, I know.
But he's like, no,
but he was way
it's
nicer
fine.
to her than he was to Poe.
Yeah. But anytime anything mean has happened to Poe, he's totally brought it on himself, though.
He's been kind of a jerk.
But I think the I feel it too is kind of like a doctor saying, this will only hurt a bit.
Oh, interesting. No, I don't know. There's something more there. There was more in the novelization, at least. Yeah.
Or if so, I think he would have been a lot more aware of it than her, because he seemed to pick up on a lot more of the cues than she did. She just saw a monster.
Because in the TFA novelization, so this is actually my friend Shannon who brought this up, and I was like, I really like this one. This is what I'm going to say is my favorite. In the TFA novelization, before seeing Kylo, she says she felt like she had seen him before in a daydream or a nightmare. And then Ben says, it's you. It is you in the forest. And they have a familiar feeling, like they can't quite put a finger on it. Again, like there's stuff in the novelizations, there's stuff in the movies, especially TLJ, like how they're interconnected and stuff like that. But again, the novelizations are like soft canon, because anything that is in the movies can overwrite those things.
Yeah, but and also with the novelizations, they can go much deeper.
Yeah,
because you can't really, in a movie, feelings. I mean, they've got talented actors. They can convey a lot of feelings, but there's only so much subtext. You can't get in people's head
literally thinking the thoughts that they're thinking, which they do in the novelizations. Yeah. And sometimes those have to be overwritten for the sake of the story if the story changes or whatever. But they have been, at least as far as we know, they have had dreams of each other or visions, or much like how Rey had been dreaming of the island her whole life, right? So she knew she was going to go and meet Luke at some point.
Okay, yeah, because they've established that characters have been connected via the Force. Just so it could have been that Snoke just saw that connection and turned it up to 11 for the Force time.
He's like an amp. Like, let's give this a little juice.
Oh, Kylo's got his shirt off. This is going to be hilarious. Click.
He just took over the control panel. It was like, oh my God, guess what's going to happen? And like popcorn in his like little gold lamace.
Yeah, there's like 6 Crimson Guard gathered around him. Like,
let's watch in on this.
Just waves them over. I mean, guys, this is gonna be awesome.
I mean, there's the HoloNet, but really, what else do they have for their stories
other than messing with your apprentice and some random?
This is
Jedi
the best
the
telenovela out there.
And Snoke totally looked like somebody that would watch that sort of thing.
I mean, yeah, like he was always in his pajamas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen, this is the one fan theory that it was right in the headline, so I was not able to avoid it. When the trailer for episode 9 came out, there was a fan theory going around that Snoke was actually Palpatine.
Oh, like a botched clone or something like that. Oh boy.
Because I'm thinking the original Palpatine, I mean, there's been the establishment that
He was really tall.
Force ghosts can basically force ghost wherever. They can force ghost from coast to coast if they want to.
Oh, Jesus. You made me laugh that hard.
You can't edit that out. But Sith ghosts are haunting. They're tied
they're like
to a
gas, right? Like they haunt things and they're tied to objects or places.
They are stuck to something that was significant to them.
They have a name for them now. Bogans.
Bogans?
Yeah,
did Keanu Reeves name them? Bogans.
Bogans. No, George Lucas actually did. In the original first draft of A New Hope, he called the Jedi Bindu of the Ashla, and the Sith were called the Bogans. So they've actually named Force artifacts Bogans, like dark ones, Bogans.
So I can see that's how they're bringing Palpatine back for episode 9.
He's going to be haunting.
They showed the remnants of the weapon from the Death Star.
Yeah.
So he's obviously haunting that. And awesome to have Ian McDiarmid back because he's got such a great voice.
Oh yeah.
Even if he never appears on screen as a Bogan or whatever, just having that voice.
That's just the artifacts themselves. That's what they're called. I don't know that they've named the
Sith Ghost then.
Sith Ghost, yes.
But I mean, that laugh at the end of the trailer was just so good.
Yeah.
But I don't buy the Snoke being Palpatine thing, but it seemed to really be gathering a lot of traction.
I feel like he's just an opportunistic leech.
Yeah, I find it weird that we didn't get any backstory, but like I said when we did the Last Jedi panel discussion, I think he was just a red herring. I think he was everybody working on it pointing and saying, "Hey, watch this guy. Hey, watch this guy."
Yeah,
that guy was nobody. Now he's dead.
Well, and I think he was opportunistic, and he maybe isn't even the thing that has been like, because like Leia said, like, you know, it was Snoke. He's been, you know, tempting our son, and there's like this thought that Ben has been almost been given dark visions his whole life. Mm-hmm. So like, what if that was Palpatine?
It could have been Palpatine doing that to him.
Yeah, and then like Snoke just took advantage, like the take advantager that he is. I don't know.
Take advantage?
Yes. He's an opportunistic guy.
He obviously has power.
Yes.
I mean,
he has enough power to do Force lightning.
Yeah, and to hook up the Force time and giggle when it goes funny. And the time
he's
that
like hitting the television box like when it ends awkwardly.
And when he uses the best use of the Force in any of the movies, when he just face plants Hux onto the floor.
I mean, yes.
So hard.
So that actor actually broke his nose. Like the stunt guy actually broke his nose during that scene.
Because that was a solid impact.
Yeah.
I mean, you could only fake that so hard.
I know, right? This is about headcanon, but it went to some weird places.
Well, we're talking headcanon with the Snoke Palpatine thing. But do
you have any headcanon about the trailer? The Tross trailer? I have a bit of speculation.
I've seen and think it's probably going to be accurate that when they're saying the rise of Skywalker, that Skywalker is going to become a title. That it's not the rise of another Skywalker. They're ending the Skywalker saga with this one. I think that rather than the title of Jedi going forward, I believe that Rey and maybe Kylo are going to found a new order, and instead of Jedi, the title is going to be Skywalker.
Yeah, I like that too, except for the fact that like Luke would never want anything to exist after his name.
Other than some blue thalassite milk, Luke has never gotten anything that he wanted.
He enjoyed that.
He really enjoyed it. Just,
I mean, straight from the udder.
Still warm.
Still warm. Delicious.
Just dribbling in the beard and everything. that one gulp of milk is the only thing that I can ever recall seeing Luke really want.
Really want. He wanted a wife. Sorry, that's a Mark Hamill joke. He really wanted a girlfriend just once. That wasn't his sister.
Yeah. Not being related to your significant other. He had an entire island of lizard nuns.
They were all married. We didn't see the cutscene, but there is a cutscene where they get to dance with their husbands.
And 100% of them are paired off.
I mean, theoretically, we don't know. They're judgmental, at least.
Yeah, they obviously didn't like him. Or really anybody for that.
Or Ray.
They really didn't like Ray.
Yeah.
For reasons.
I mean, cart reasons. You destroyed my cart. You destroyed this wall.
Like, you destroyed the rock thingy up on the cliff.
Yeah.
You blew the door off of this ancient hut that you're living in. She was not a good guest.
No. They would have tidied up after her, but judgmentally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a lot of side eye going on.
Yeah.
And nun lizards have their eyes very much to the sides, so it's very side eye.
I always thought they were like porg people. Nah. Fish nuns? I always thought they were fish nuns.
Fish nuns?
Kind of.
They seem more lizardy to me, but I'm a herpetology enthusiast.
Yes, you do like lizards.
And a bit of an ichthyology enthusiast. Maybe they were fish lizard nuns.
Fish lizard nuns. I mean, some sort of hybrid. Yeah.
So do you have theories about 9?
I do. I do not think that Kylo coming in the silencer is to shoot at her. I think he is coming and she's going to jump on the silencer.
I don't think that that was combat.
No, it didn't look like combat to me. I think she's going to jump on it full like Vader from Rebels, and it's like something they're practicing, or like she's going to like lightsaber blaster bolts or something. I feel like that's what's happening.
It seemed a little too coordinated.
Yeah.
Because
like she had enough time to like breathe and then run and jump, and he didn't shoot at her.
Yeah, why would he strafe that low without shooting when logically he'd come in at about a 45-degree angle, pew, 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 pew. Oh, I missed because I'm evil, fly away.
Yeah, like why drive down the block at a speed you could pick up your girlfriend?
Mm-hmm. Which is exactly what he was doing.
I mean, she shipped herself to him in a box after going to the Space Sephora to get some makeup and a new outfit. So this is just second date.
Wow. It's been a long time. I don't even understand dating anymore.
Hey, but now Facebook has an app for you.
In Canada. It hasn't launched in the US yet.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's launched in like 5 or 6
we actually
countries.
do have listeners in Canada. Surprisingly enough. I don't know. Hello, Canadian listeners. Hello. Thank you for listening.
I'm not sure it was something that they were practicing, but I think it was something that they were doing
intentionally. Coordinated.
In tandem. Yeah.
Coordinated anyways.
So yeah, she's definitely going to be on top of the silencer swinging a lightsaber, but it's going to be swinging up above the silencer.
Yeah.
It's not going through, taking a wing off or anything
yeah.
like that.
No, I don't see that happening. We didn't see R2-D2 in the trailer. And that means that he's in the silencer. He went and he bitched out Kylo Ren. He had a good talking to him. He told him all of his ways.
They're going to bleep the entire talk too.
It was like
it's going to be profanity laden.
And then he shows him a couple of pictures. He shows him his baby album, and he's like, you were cute once. See, this was Anakin when he was cute. This was Luke when he was an old man, but still cute.
He's going to roll over to the closet, open the door, take down the brass bikini and be like, and you're sentimental because we all know you still have this.
Have you seen that Brian Kessinger where little Kylo finds the brass bikini?
Yeah.
Oh my God. No, so...
But no, I don't think R2 is in the silence.
I mean, it would be cool.
They had never established the need for a droid in Imperial fighters.
No, I know, but he's just there. He's like hanging out. Give me this one. We don't see him in the trailer. I'm freaking out. Where is he?
Somewhere else in the movie. It was a teaser trailer.
I know, but we see C-3PO. We see this new little duck droid, Dio. We see BB-8.
Wow, you said that with some spite on it.
Where's R2-D2? This has gotten awkward.
Okay, I'll give you my hope. My hope is that R2-D2 is in Hondo's basement. And,
we get to see him in bed too.
and BB-8 has to go find him, which will make me happy because it's well established that my absolute favorite part of The Force Awakens is watching BB-8 go downstairs.
Hondo's basement is just like a different version of Maz's basement.
It's the room of requirement for Star Wars nerds.
BB-8 goes down a lot of stairs in Resistance.
I know.
It's really funny. And I'm like, how does he get back up?
Who cares? Watching him, he'll just keep going downstairs until he's at the top again.
I don't even know what's happening in this episode.
It's because he's a ball droid and that's how they work.
Oh my god. What did you think of Dio?
The first thought I had when I saw Dio pop up on screen was wondering how high-pitched the squeak that came out of Mary Claire was.
I thought he was really cute. And the fact that they made a live version of him for the stage, I was like, oh, the creature and droid designers are just doing amazing work.
Well, and I've never known anybody that loves droids as hard as you do.
I was more excited that Jon Favreau had been studying the hero's journey. Like in general, like that whole weekend, like I was just way more excited that like the mythic nature of Star Wars is even leaking into things like The Mandalorian, you know? Yeah. I was excited. R2 was on stage, so I know he's in the movie. He was an important...
There's no way that R2 wouldn't be in the movie.
I know, it just didn't see him. So where is he?
There's a lot of things you didn't see in the trailer.
We didn't see C-3PO plan a wedding, which will happen in Hondo's basement.
Yeah.
On Bantu, right? It's actually, he actually has a ballroom down there.
Yeah, I mean, he's a galaxy-renowned pirate. He's going to have some square footage.
I mean, you've seen his crib on Florum, right?
That was a whole compound.
Yeah.
So yeah, his basement's he's gonna have a couple thousand square feet down there.
I feel like if this wasn't part of the Imagineers conversations for Galaxy's Edge, it really should have been, because who doesn't want to have a wedding in Hondo's basement?
As Morgan.
Okay. Dooku.
It took so much effort for me to pull that name out. I can picture the character. Come on, name.
No, he really doesn't want to. No, he would rather I don't know, eat another one of him than see Hondo again, I'm sure.
Probably, yeah.
Yes.
I get the feeling that they are no longer close.
I don't know that they were ever that close to begin with, but I see your point. Yes. All right, we should probably wrap this up.
Yeah,
we're just getting goofy. You're just getting goofy. And now I get to edit like giggling and like me spitting at the microphone.
But not the time that you laughed so hard that you knocked it down. You got to keep that.
I will, I promise. All right. So, Liam, thanks for joining me in this headcanon episode. We'll try to do it.
Do it in another year.
Yeah. I mean, it annually seems to be okay. We've got some other episodes that we've got coming up with ideas to have some cool stuff happen. But Liam, where can people find you out there and the different things that you're doing?
Well, I have my own podcast as well called A Story Not Forgotten. We just recorded episode 40 that just made it to air, and we had Leanna Vamp, a very prolific content creator. She's had 2 or 3 TV shows. She hosted the 100th episode of The Walking Dead when AMC did their big to-do about that. And she shared a story with me for actually from one of her shows called Ghosted, which was a travel / ghost hunting show, which is really fun, really brilliant. And I've known her for a couple of years, and I was really excited to get her on the show. Other than that, I am still working with Capturing Legacies, which is a business whose sole purpose is to get people to tell and share their stories. So you can find that at capturinglegacies.com. And I also go out and take pretty pictures of things, and you can find all of my pretty pictures of things at Trath Originals all over social media or at trathoriginals.com.
Thank you so much. And for more headcanon, what I'm going to ask is, what is your favorite headcanon? Share it out with us on Twitter. Cheers. Thank you, everyone, for listening to What the Force. I'm Marie-Claire Gould, your host. Our music is orchestral music composed by Christy Carew. We have a Patreon at patreon.com/whattheforce. We would like to thank all our patrons, especially those who love What the Force, In Wild Space, Night Huntress, and Susan. We are available wherever podcasts are found and YouTube. You can connect with us at Twitter at WT4 Show or on Facebook at What the Force. Feel free to reach out to us and start a conversation. Cheers.